Hey, what's happening everybody? This is Elite Kicks back with the weekly video. In today's video, guys, we have 3 topics lined up to talk about. First and foremost, we're going to be talking about the quote-unquote shock drop that happened earlier today on Snkrs. We saw the Jordan 11 cherries and we saw the Jordan 11 midnight navies. One thing I do want to plug here, guys, is my Discord. We do provide early access information. We provide retail deals. A lot of members have taken advantage of the retail deals. You can see all the W's here that we've hit on recently. And again, it's only $4 a month. One of the things, and I haven't even put this information in the Discord, is one of the things that I'm trying to develop, and again, it's taking a little bit longer, is to actually have sort of an in-store monitor. Again, it's going to take a while for me to develop, but that is sort of the big project that I have for the Discord upcoming. I'm going to drop the link right here in the information box as well as on the screen, so be sure to check it out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can obviously cancel at any time. It is a great community. With that, guys, back to about for the Jordan Reserve, we had the Jordan 11 Midnight Navies and the Jordan 11 Cherries drop, and it was a very disappointing Jordan Reserve because this is on schedule for when Jordan normally does their reserves. One of the things I've always talked about is that usually we see a reserve every 3 to 4 months. Now, this is very concerning that they had no other shoes in their reserve other than the 11 for the cherries and the 11 for the midnight. It was disappointing that we didn't see the lost and founds, and we're going to talk about at the end of this video about what this exactly means for a lost and found restock happening or not happening. Comment down below though, guys, did you guys go for the cherries or the midnight navies? Was that a shoe that you didn't have in your collection that you needed to add to your collection? Let me know if this was a reserve that you guys liked, didn't like. Personally, to me, it felt like a reserve where it was just a bunch of returns that Nike had an issue with selling, so now they're going to say, in the guise of a Jordan reserve, they're going to put it out there that, hey, here's another chance to sort of hype it up to try to sell more of this product. The next thing I want to talk to you guys is about the sneaker market, the sneaker reselling market. As you know, with COVID and everything like that, prices shot up. We were in a market where basically you could get some mids, Jordan mids at a retail price, hold it for somewhere between 4 to 6 months, and then you could easily flip it for $50 over retail. It was easy money, things were rolling in. In 2023, we're in a much different market now. The concept of getting a mid, holding it for 4 to 6 months doesn't really exist anymore. But what does that mean for future Jordans? One thing we're going to see in the next coming weeks is, for example, the Jordan 6 Cool Grays. We're going to see the Jordan 5 UNCs. Probably about a year and a half ago, these shoes would have resale value to them, somewhere between, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 bucks. Even if you look at the Jordan 6 UNCs last year when they initially released, yes, there was shipping delays, but you were generally able to buy that shoe for around $225 retail price and then flip it for an easy $300, $325, sometimes even more than that. Now, if you look at it, if on the day of the release, the day after the release, the resale is pretty low. And I think what we're probably going to see in these coming months is these Jordan 5s, these Jordan 6, even probably the Jordan 1s, not do as well, not have any resale value at all. You'll see a lot of resellers get pushed out of the market. The Jordan 4s obviously will still have hype. People are still going to be chasing dunks, but the resale market will ultimately come down a little bit. It's going to have its normal peaks that we see during, for example, tax season and holiday season and back to school season. But I think we're getting into a stage, and again, this is just my pure prediction, we're getting in a stage where things are going to be a lot more, I don't want to call it predictable, but we'll see the peaks, but we'll see the drops as well too. So if you are holding on to product, my advice is always look at the price during tax season, back to school season, and holiday season, and you need to really make a determination as to whether to move the product now or just keep holding it for another year, 6 months, something like that. Just keep in mind that, for example, if you are holding on to, let's say, a Jordan 4 white Oreo that is now peaked, I don't know what the price is now, but I was able to sell my remaining stock that I had of that for above 500, but if you're holding out on that and hoping that it touches Jordan 4 Black Hat levels, just understand you're going to be holding it for another 18 months at least. So you have to make a determination. Do you want the $500 now or a possible $600, $700 18 months from now, and that's not obviously guaranteed. You don't know what's going to happen in the market, but I put it out here, guys. Just keep in mind that the resale market is much different than what it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're entering a new stage where, you know, you'll see the peaks during tax season, back to school season, and holiday season, and you're gonna see drops the rest of the year most of the time. So that's something to keep in mind as you hold on to shoes and as you flip shoes. Also keep in mind certain silhouettes are not going to be as hyped anymore. For example, the Jordan 1, obviously Jordan 5s and Jordan 6s weren't really hyped, but they always had some resale value. They just don't have it anymore. So guys, the last thing I want to talk to you guys is we saw a Jordan Reserve today. What does that mean for the possibility or the lack of a possibility of a lost and found restock actually happening or not happening? I worry that the stock that's loaded on the back end for the Jordan 1 lost and found Chicago's, whatever you want to call them, may go the way of the Jordan 1 high Travis Scott fragment. If you remember, that shoe was actually loaded on the back end ready to drop. Nike pulled it because of this huge uproar that happened from the Travis Scott raffle. They didn't want the same issue happening with their drop for whatever reason, but it never dropped. It's either one was sent to a Nike store somewhere and sold to employees, or it's sitting in a warehouse somewhere. What we do know is that drop felt a lot more like a friends and family drop. I never really truly saw a drop on Snkrs. Now, will we see a restock of the Jordan 1 lost and found on the Snkrs app? You know, the fact that their Jordan Reserve happened now, and that's what they termed it. Usually Jordan Reserves happen every 3 to 4 months. This could mean that the next Jordan Reserve isn't going to happen for another 3 or 4 months, meaning that the next time we see the lost and founds may not be until that June time period. That's not a good thing. Now, what it could also mean is we could see a shock drop, for example, on the Snkrs Live that they do every, I think, Wednesday or something like that. What I guess I'm trying to say is that the chances of this restocking diminished significantly today. I still truly believe that we will see a lost and found restock. I just worry that we're all hoping for something that may never happen and that Nike may never give us. With that, guys, that is the end of the video for today. Next week, we're going to be previewing some of March's biggest releases. So we're going to be talking about the Jordan 3 Reimagined. We're going to be talking about the Jordan 4 SB that's going to drop, which apparently no one seems to have in hand, but there's a bunch of mock-up pictures out there. And finally, we're going to be talking about the Tiffany Air Force Ones. This is Elite Kicks signing off. Take care, everybody.